And for your top stories this hour, Pakistan's military spokesperson Ahmed Sharif Chowdhury has provided critical updates on the ongoing airstrikes against Afghanistan. So far, Pakistan claims that 274 Taliban fighters and Quja members have been killed, with over 400 injured. Meanwhile, 73 Taliban posts along the Pakistan-Afghanistan border have been completely destroyed and 18 posts have been captured. Furthermore, Pakistan reports the destruction of 115 tanks, armoured vehicles and artillery pieces. The airstrikes targeted key Taliban locations, including defensive installations and sites supporting terrorist organisations. Targets were struck at 22 locations across Kabul, Kandahar, Paktia, Nangarhar, Ghost and Paktika. Regardless of the casualties on both sides, Pakistan has vowed to continue its military actions, warning of further escalation. International calls for diplomacy continue, with the UN urging both sides to protect civilians and resolve the conflict peacefully. We are now being joined by retired Major General Gigi Davidi, who is a war veteran and professor and in international relations and strategic studies, joining us from New Delhi. Thank you so much for joining us here today on NewsX World.
Thank you.
What strategic or tactical advantages might the use of small basic drones provide insurgent forces like the Taliban, and how does this influence Pakistan's military's response?
Well, Ali, first and foremost, I think the escalation of conflict is marked because, as Pakistan government has stated, that they are an all-out war. Second point is that these conflict on the ground is restricted to the border areas, whereas the airstrikes are being used by Pakistan deeper inside, as deep as Kabul or Khost or Paktia. Now, two sides we need to figure out as to how two sides are disposed. As far as Pakistan is concerned, it has a formidable army, it has a very formidable air force, also it has armored corps, armored vehicles. So therefore, as far as equipment is concerned, Pakistan is very heavily armed. On the other side, as far as Taliban are concerned, they are basically armed with small arm weapons. They don't have very sophisticated heavy weapon system. They don't have air force. So the strategy by the both sides is different, as also tactical operations. Pakistan is using all its firepower, its air force to strike deep, and also preponderance of artillery and other systems. As far as Taliban are concerned, they are more adept at the ground operations. Means they can operate in small teams, and they are very good at small arms, and they have only rudimentary, drones or such like systems. So these two sides are now, this is how they are faced. So this is how the exactly ground situation is figuring out. But I like to exercise a word of caution, because Pakistan army is known to be inflating its claims, and also its credibility is big question mark. But as far as ground operations are concerned, the tactical operations are concerned, you will see in time to come, Taliban will definitely have an upper hand. And let's not forget history. Taliban has, Afghans have defeated British in the 19th century. They also defeated Soviet Union in the late in 1980s, and also the latest American also had to take to heels in 2021 when they exited Afghanistan. So I don't think Pakistan army should underestimate the Taliban, because they are well-known fighters, especially when it comes to tactical operation. But I think the escalation is actually gaining ground, and both sides are going to be at each other's neck, but using different tactics, because they are armed differently and their potential is different. Ali.
And with Islamabad asserting that up to 274 Taliban fighters have been killed, while Kabul offers differing narratives, how should international observers assess the reliability of casualty figures in this conflict?
Well, Ali, I stated in the beginning the Pakistan army has very low credibility and they always tend to overclaim and they always tend to underplay their own casualties. So, therefore, I don't think we need to take the word on the face value. But nonetheless, of course, Taliban would have suffered casualties because, as I said, that Pakistan army has a preponderance of the artillery, rocket system, air force. But at the same time, I am sure Pakistan also would have suffered heavily because the Taliban believe in the close combat and the close warfare using small arms and of course rudimentary systems. So therefore, I don't think we need to go by the figures stated by the Pakistan army. I am sure they would have taken also heavy casualties, but we need to wait and watch to get the exact ground picture because in the fog of war, both sides claim, but the claims have to be moderated intelligently. Ali.
Thank you, retired General Gigi Davidi, but please don't go too far as we'll be back with you